Hello, VC. Michael, Clash City Rocker, with a video this week inspired by a number of videos I've been watching this week posted on YouTube by VC members about collecting. And are you a collector? Are you an accumulator? Are you a completist? And it was the completist conversations that I found the most interesting because I kind of am. In fact, I'm working on a Beatles collection right now. I like to use the fancy word curating. That's been a dream of mine since I've been into the collecting of vinyl, really intentionally, that I'm hoping to share with the VC very soon. So I started thinking about it. Are you an accumulator? Are you a collector? Are you a completist? And I thought, well, I'm probably a completist, but maybe it'd be better to be completely the opposite. And so what I'm going to share with you in this video is what I'm calling the non-completist record collection. And what it basically is you get to have one record from a band or an artist, and that's it. It can be your favorite artist. It can be something that you're just kind of slightly interested or you heard about, but it doesn't matter. You get one. And I've been thinking about it because I'm clearly not going to be able to move all of these records into whatever my next place is going to be. And maybe I should try that. So that means one Stones record, one Clash record, one Beatles record, one Who record. But before I go into depth on what this non-completist record collection looks like, I want to thank all the people who watch my video on me getting rid of some of the records that I've had since my childhood. The Ramones record, the Beatle record, and the Bowie record. I appreciate all the views, but I particularly appreciate the comments. Again, my goal with making these videos is to connect with members of the VC, to engender conversation about music, about records. So please comment on my videos. Please like and, of course, subscribe. Like all, I do appreciate the feedback. Okay, so this is a non-completist record collection. And what I did is I looked at some of the artists that I have the most records of, and then I picked one. And so, again, there's a couple different ways, and I kind of made some notes here. One is called the no killer, no filler approach. So in other words, if there's a not so great Stones record or Beatles record, you're just not going to have it. Obviously, deep cut, you could pick something really obscure, minimalist and intentional, of course, because that's what this is all about. So I went to Discogs, looked at it, and of course, I call myself Michael Clash City Rocker, so I have more Clash records than any other. I have well over 100. I'm not going to give you the exact number, but I get one, and I'm picking Sandinista. You've heard me talk about this before. Triple record set, much maligned, much misunderstood. But it's an amazing record, particularly the first four sides, a little bit of everybody. Okay, another band that I have north of 100 records, the Beatles, but I'm going to just keep one. I'm going to keep Rubber Soul. That's my favorite. This is something newly acquired. This is a 1965 Parlophone. I believe this matrix number is -4. I don't know. But anyways, one Beatle record. Now, here's the deal with the way that I'm doing this. Now, I thought I ruled out greatest hits records because what I could have done with the Beatles is taken the 2024 Red remaster where it's 3 record set, or for the Clash, maybe the super black market Clash 3 10-inch records. But I'm trying to make this very limited. So no greatest hits records and no live records. So the one and only Beatle record of all the hundreds I own, I get one, Rubber Soul. Next band that I have many records, 70 plus. Rolling Stones, I'm getting one Rolling Stones record. I'm picking Some Girls. You all know this. I love this. Every track on here is great. Miss You, When the Whip Comes Down, Imagination, Some Girls, Lies, Far Away. I mean, it's just, every song on here is great, and I love the artwork. Bowie's another person I have north of 70 records. I'm getting one. It's Station to Station, the so-called lost years, the in-between phase. Only 6 tracks, all of them amazing. minimalist, great vocals. The Jam, Paul Weller, another one of my all-time favorites. Now, one of the things when I'm coming up with this non-completist record collection is it might just be the first record you heard from a band. And that's the one that's imprinted the deepest. For me, it's this one, the Jam Setting Suns, the first Jam record I ever got. And I love every track on here. Strange Town, Saturdays, Kids, Little Boy Soldiers, Eating Rifles, Girl on the Phone. Actually, I could skip Love is Like a Heat Wave, but I get it. Love it. Okay. After that, Elvis, this is a brand new record I acquired. I wanted an original 1956 RCA Victor, first press Elvis record. I have, 40-some Elvis records. Played this a few times the other day. Just so great. Opens with Blue Suede Shoes. I'm Counting on You. I Got a Woman. One-Sided Love Affair. I Love You Because and Just Because. 2 Because songs in a row. Great cover. Great record. Eclectic. The Who. This record, I lived this record. At least I envisioned I was living this record for a very long time. Quadrophenia, one record. Again, what I'm doing is coming up with the non-completist record collection. You get one from a band or an artist. And again, I'm picking bands and artists that I have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 plus records. I get one Grateful Dead record, not a live record, because that's a little bit cheating because they're all like 3, 4, 5 discs. This one, 4 amazing songs: Scarlet Begonias, Ship of Fools, U.S. Blues, and China Doll. I think this record's underrated. I think this is a brilliant record. I just think it's amazing. Favorite Kinks record, or the one I'm going to pick, is this one, Face to Face. I was so tempted to do One for the Road, which is my favorite Kinks album, but this is the one I'm choosing. Party Line, Rosie Won't You Please Come Home, Dandy, Too Much on My Mind, Session Man, Rainy Day in June, House in the Country, very eclectic, very English, very 60s. Miles, my all-time favorite, Miles. I wish there had been more records like this. I mean, there's some that are kind of like this, like Kilimanjaro, but in a silent way with John McLaughlin. 1968, right before Bitches Brew. Beautiful Columbia 2. I love this record. I mean, first side, peaceful. Such a great meditative record. Lou Reed and Velvet Underground. I'm picking this one. Another one of those records where every track is amazing. If you don't know this, you have to grab it. I occasionally see it. It's never really expensive. My House, Women, Underneath the Bottle, The Gun, The Blue Mask, first side. Such a great record. Great cover. Minimalist. Again, another artist I have like 30 plus records. Prince. I'm taking Sign of the Times. It's probably no surprise for many of you, but I like the eclecticism on this. First side, Sign of the Times, Play in the Sunshine, Housequake, and The Ballad of Dorothy Parker. Then It, Starfish and Coffee. I just love this record. I think it was at the height of his powers. I think they got diluted after this, but that's just me. Emmylou, hard one. Could have picked Wrecking Ball, but I want to pick her first real solo record because it kind of introduced herself. Beyond the Graham records, it's her first one. And a Rodney Crowell song, Blueberry Wine. Then a Billy Sherrill song, Too Far Gone. Then a Louvin Brothers song, If I Could Only Win Your Love. Then a song that she wrote, Boulder to Birmingham, about Graham. And then a Danny Flowers song, Before Believing. But it's such a great song or album. Just absolutely brilliant. Love this one. Pieces of the Sky. Faces, Small Faces, Rod Stewart. I know this just got re-released, I think on Rhino. Love this. Not as good as a Wink to a Dead Horse. I remember getting this out of the library. Being fascinated by the back cover. But first song, Miss Judy's Farm, You're So Rude. Love Lies Here. Last orders, please, and stay with me, of course. And then Debris, or Debris as we say here in the States. Great, great record. Neil Young, again, another one of those artists I have 30-some records, but I get one. I'm taking this one. It's the first Neil record I ever bought. Rust Never Sleeps. The acoustic side with Pocahontas, Sail Away, Thrasher, Ride My Llama, and Out of the Blue. Love this record. Love this cover. Another record. 30-some Dylan records, but I'm only getting this one. One record. One Dylan record. It's the Non-Completist record collection. Bringing it all back home. Love the cover. And it has my all-time favorite Dylan song, It's All Right Ma, I'm Only Bleeding. And then he ends the record with It's All Over Now, Baby Blue. What could be better than this? 30-some King Crimson records. I'm only keeping one. Non-Completist. I'm keeping Discipline. Yeah, it was hard. I could have taken the mid-70s Bruford, Cross, Muir, Fripp, and Wetton period, but this trilogy is my favorite. I'll go a little faster. Replacements, again, 30-some Replacements record. Non-Completist, I'm keeping one. Pleased to Meet Me. I might cheat and grab the B-side version of this as well, but IOU, Alex Chilton, I don't know, Nightclub Jitters is such a great one. U2, many people gave up on U2, but I would have been fine if they never recorded an album after U2 War. It's my favorite U2 record. You all know it. This was kind of easy to pick just one. McCartney's an interesting one because obviously he's been writing for 50 plus years, but I want the first one, where it's the most raw, most primitive. He's playing all the instruments. He's in agony. He's depressed. And it's just an amazing record. I don't think he's ever been this pure. Springsteen, speaking of being as stripped down as possible, probably an obvious choice. Springsteen, Nebraska. Smiths, non-canon, non-completist. You get one Smiths record. I'm taking this one. First Smiths record. Not a rough trade. Sire is how they came in the States. First one I ever heard. Stayed with me. Never got it out of my head. Yardbirds, Jeff Beck. Having a rave up. Love this cover. Love this record. Epic label. First side, or second side is Smokestack Lightning, Respectable, I'm a Man, and Here It Is. First side, You're a Better Man Than I, Heart Full of Soul, Evil Hearted You, Still I'm Sad. I mean, every track on here is absolutely amazing. Some of the 90s England stuff. Blur, Park Life. By the way, I've never quite figured out how I got this record. I think it's a 90s bootleg. It was weird. Favorite for many. Blur album. I was tempted to do Great Escape, but I picked this one. Again, non-completist record collection. You get one from each band, each artist. I'm kind of cheating here with the Beach Boys, but I don't have Smiley Smile on a standalone record. I have it in this twofer, and you all know it. Heroes and Villains, Vegetables, Fall Breaks, and Back to Winter. She's Going Bald, Little Pat, and of course, Good Vibrations. Such a great record. It's what they took was supposed to be Smile, became that. Jefferson Airplane, I'm picking this one. I love Grace Slick. She's probably one of my favorite female vocalists. In fact, if not my favorite female vocalist after Emmylou Harris. But I love Marty Balin, his voice. This is such a great record. This is the first issue in the shrink, believe it or not. And it has It's No Secret and Come Up the Years. Marty Balin, man. Love his voice. Ramones. I showed this to you guys in my last video. Picked this up recently. Favorite Ramones album. Hands down, no problem. Aerosmith was going to be a little bit tricky. I was thinking of one of the 90s or 80s ones. Like Permanent Vacation. But of course, it has to be Toys in the Attic. I mean, Sweet Emotion. Walk This Way. You really can't. There aren't too many bands who have two better songs than that. And all the rest of this is so good. Uncle Salty, Adam's Apple, Big 10 Inch. Toys in the Attic, of course, No More, No More, Round and Round, and You See Me Crying. Such a great record. The vocals on here are underrated. Birds, picking one. Notorious Birds Brothers. No, I guess that's not David Crosby. If it had been David Crosby, the horse would have been flipped. And we would have seen the horses took us. Again, Non-Completist collection. Suede, I'm picking this. Coming up, 5 top 10 hits. Kate Bush, I'm picking this. The Dreaming, great cover. She was never this progressive. Zeppelin, I'm picking one. Iggy and the Stooges, or Iggy, I'm picking The Idiot. First Press. And you've heard me talk about REM, of course. Murmur. Would have really been okay if they had never recorded records past the first few. Same with Talking Heads. It would have been fine if the band had stopped recording after this. And one of the first records I ever bought, second record I ever bought, Pink Floyd Animals, no question, the greatest Pink Floyd album of all time. Now, when I'm showing these, they're not all the best album by a band, but they're the one I would pick. George Jones, the first of the 80s records, but kind of like the culmination of his 70s period. And he stopped loving her today, so that's why I had to pick this one. And then just a few artists that I don't have like 30, 40, 50, or 100 records of, but I thought I would pick some really popular ones. Madonna, one Madonna record, True Blue, great cover, great tracks. La Isla Bonita. Oasis, first album. They had never recorded another record. I would have been fine with it. So good. You all know it. Rock and Roll Star, Shaker Maker, Live Forever, and then Supersonic and Cigarettes and Alcohol is such a great record. And then two more. Stevie Wonder, probably easy choice. Inner Visions, Too High, Living for the City, Higher Ground. And then finally, I thought about this. Why do I have more than one Michael Jackson record? I don't need more than one Michael Jackson record. I only need Off the Wall. I love the way this record looks. I would love the way it's packaged. Stay with me for a moment. It's just such a cool gatefold. Him in the tux. And again, it starts with Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, and then Rock With You. So Michael, Clash City Rocker with a video, kind of like the anti-completist video. So what would you do if you could only pick one Beatles or Stones or Who album, or name your favorite band, Nirvana, Pearl Jam, whatever the case may be. As always, subscribe, like, comment. My goal with making these videos is to connect with the VC. I enjoy making the videos. Peace.